I'm from the 25th century, but I've been programmed to communicate like a robot from your time. Beep!
Beep, boop, beep, Rainiac.
I got you stuck off the realness. I got you stuck off the realness. I got you stuck off the realness.
So let's just get into it.
Hey yo, let me holla, let me holla at you. Welcome back to the Daily Planet News, where you get all the latest news for DC Universe Online. I'm your host, Glitter, and we have a special Daily Planet News for you this week. We're gonna take a look at the latest DLC coming out on January 28th. So without further ado, let me holla at you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about talking about it. You wanna talk about it? I think I wanna talk about it. You want me to talk about it? You wanna talk about my haircut? Look at my mohawk. I put a fishbowl over my head and I just went at it. You feel me? Let's talk about it. Okay, so we have Behind the Scenes Day of Reckoning. This is apparently the new DLC. We're gonna take a look. It says right here, the Day of Reckoning is nigh. Join DC Universe Online's creative director Al Rivera and art director Scott Boyd. Alright, let me pause right there. You see that art director Scott Boyd? That's the art director that said that he takes inspiration from Taylor Swift's album's Easter eggs. Just pointing that out there, alright? You feel me? Let's talk about it. So you see right here, it's confirmation that the DLC will be available on January 28th, 2025. And of course, we got these dang story arcs we went through already. So right off the bat, I want to point out that us here at Daybreak Games, we taking a new approach. This is part of our new business model. We are not going to release the DLC on test server anymore 2 weeks prior to the release because we sensitive over here, you feel me? We don't want to hear the criticism on how it's copied and pasted on YouTube, you know what I mean? That hurts our feelings. So we not going to release it on test server, and plus when it comes out, it's going to come out really buggy, and then you can report the bugs when it's on live server. Who needs test server to fix it beforehand, right? Let's talk about it.
Bruh.
Hi, I'm Scott Boyd. I'm the art director at DCUO.
Remember, this is the guy that likes Taylor Swift Easter eggs. Again, I have to clarify this. This is the guy that likes Taylor Swift's Easter eggs on her albums. That's what he takes inspiration for his artwork. Alright, let's talk about it.
I am Al Rivera. I'm the creative director of DC Universe Online.
And we are here to talk about Day of Reckoning.
Hurry up and talk about it already.
One of the things I'm most excited about, personally, is bringing powerful narrative to DCUO. When I first got here, I met with DC. We want to take a deeper approach, where we can tell stories over long periods of time, allowing players to kind of speculate where the story is going, what the character's motivation is, and what's going to happen next. And we've been working closely with DC to tie in our stories into what they're doing.
I'm really excited to have the players see our unique characters that we've created for this story. They're very different than what we've done before, and they're our own design in-house, and they've got backstory, they've got baggage, they've got all this stuff that they're carrying with them. And we really worked hard to design these characters to kind of let them feel unique, to feel like their own person. It's a whole new ballgame here on DCUO, and I'm really excited to just see how the players react to all these new changes to the art and how we tell stories through our art.
Alright, so let me translate. What they saying is that this is part of our new business model where we cut corners to save money. See, instead of providing you with cutscenes, we're gonna make you go over to our forums and read a story arc blog that nobody cares about that's gonna lead you deep down the rabbit's butthole. Let's continue.
What we're doing with Day of Reckoning is definitely very different than what players may be used to. And a lot of DCUO is very action-oriented, and we don't want to take that away from anybody. But we want to also bring something more to DCUO. So when you come to Day of Reckoning, when you get to Kaznia, leave behind some of your preconceived notions about how DCUO plays. And take a moment to look around and listen to the story and experience the narrative and experience the environment. There's a lot in there that you might overlook if you just blaze through it.
The team went out and they created this brand new Eastern European village, and we said we're going to set it in the snow. We want it to feel creepy and kind of isolated. We did rain last time in Gotham, and so we wanted to try our hand at a different, weather environment. So let's do snow and see how that feels to kind of coincide with the creepy noir kind of murder mystery environment.
Cool, guys, we added snow. We never did that before. Cool. But if you actually pay attention, all that area is out there is War-Torn Village. You know the Ultimate Soldier DLC? There's something called at the House of Legends. When you go in the teleporter, you'll see one of the areas you can teleport to. It's called War-Torn Village. Go there and pay attention. Look at the buildings, look at the surroundings. It's just War-Torn Village, more opened up, and they put snow on the ground, and they added this village right outside the buildings. That's all it is. Let's talk about it. Let's continue.
So we decided we wanted to do something in a mausoleum area. It was really neat to kind of just see the team come together and find aspects and elements to introduce that kind of creep factor. And our creative director is a really big fan of like Halloween and scary things. So he would throw ideas at us to kind of really create that vibe. So we got to do these little story beats, little elements throughout the mausoleum until we get to this big open church area where we get this really beautiful, expansive environment.
Hold up, bruh. That's the same area as Desecrated Cathedral from the Trigon DLC. I don't remember the name. So many dang DLCs. Hold on, let me get the clip. Look, bruh. It's Desecrated Cathedral. It's the same area where you fight Trigon's sons. Here's Jared. This is the same spot, fam. Look, bruh, take a look again. Look, pay attention to the windows, pay attention to the chairs, everything that's in this hallway, this area here. Look, you see them windows up there? Pay attention to all this stuff, bruh. It's copy and paste. This is already in the game. We just reusing it, you know what I'm saying? We got a low budget. Feel me?
Comics are often underappreciated for how powerful their narrative can be. They can have powerful morality plays, powerful narratives, powerful emotional stories built around triumph and loss and tragedy. And I want to bring some of that to DCUO. I think comics and DCUO is a platform where we can really tell powerful stories and meaningful stories that will resonate with people and make you feel something. And if I can make you feel something, then that'll make this team very happy. And that's what we want to do.
We don't want to feel nothing. We want good raids, bruh.
Started this story back in Harley Quinn versus Apocalypse. There were collections that gave little teasers to the story about what's about to happen in Day of Reckoning. And from there, we've started releasing a series of blogs. We've released 3 blogs so far. Each one of them is a little prequel to the story that's coming.
The biggest thing about Al that I love is that he has a vision. He creates this amazing vision that I just kind of I feel like I get to go along for the ride.
Oh, he gets to go along for the ride. He wants Taylor Swift and the Easter eggs, and he wants the other guy to ride him in the back, and they go deep and down inside the rabbit's butthole, and who cares?
Where he creates the foundation.
Look at the windows, bro. You see the windows? Look, the same as the Desecrated Cathedral. What I tell you?
They're emotionally driven. And that's me.
He's got a lot of positive energy, and I'm super laser focused. And together we've been able to make in the past some really powerful content and stories. And he can take my visions and my ideas and bring them to life in a way that, I've never worked with anyone like that before. Why is our story arc called Light and Rain? Why is this chapter called Day of Reckoning? Well, it's really kind of hard to talk about without giving away spoilers. But the titles have meaning. Day of Reckoning has more than one meaning, and I think it's something that you'll learn, and it'll unfold as you play this story, as you go through this narrative and learn about these characters.
So whether you've been with us for 14 years or whether you just started playing a week ago, thanks for coming out here and watching this little sneak peek into what's coming this year.
Really looking forward to you getting your hands on Day of Reckoning. I really hope you'll enjoy it and everything that's to come in 2025.
So look for Light and Rain, Day of Reckoning, on January 28th.
And always remember, look to the stars, for hope burns bright.
And of course, now everybody on the forums think there's going to be a new power or light power pack. Everybody believes, or all the noobs believe, that there's going to be a Blue Lantern power. Well, I hate to burst your bubble. It's not going to happen, fam. And I actually have receipts to prove it. I'm going to let the devs tell you themselves. But before I play those clips, just letting y'all know, they've already confirmed it. They're not going to have a new Blue Lantern power. They're not going to have any powers because they don't really have the funding to do that. They don't have enough developers. There's a skeleton crew running this game, and the CEO at Daybreak Games and EG7 is only pumping enough money to keep the game alive. They didn't want to remaster it. They didn't want to make Marvel Universe Online. They scrapped all those projects for EverQuest 3. I mean, I'm tired of telling y'all this, but whatever. Let's continue.
First week on the job, the systems lead who I started under, I started as like just a regular game designer on systems, and he was like, "Okay, listen, you need to be careful in there. This is like already a
it's all duct taped together and this to that."
And he's like, some of us don't even know what all of it does, so you need to go in there gingerly, be cautious, be respectful, but of course we're gonna make big changes. And
yeah,
so
of
that's
course.
the biggest challenge. Is so much of it is just like research. Like anytime you want to do anything, you're like, okay, well now you need to figure out not only how that works in the game, but also like how that thing is built in the game, because you don't want to pull out something that's like it's Jenga. You don't pull out something that's going to cause a lot of other
bring
stuff.
it all down. Yeah.
And so that's my biggest anxiety.
You see, that was the one and only Red 5 on the grind all the time, prime time. He has 69. You see, he's telling you that the hardware is very old, and most of them don't even know what most of it does. I mean, you heard him say it yourself. So if they add too many things at once, like a new power, they might make the whole thing crumble. Let's continue.
And then your final question is, will we see new weapons or powers in the game?
I mean, I just mentioned it. We're going to go back, open up arenas, draw weapons. I think new weapons or powers. We were just having this discussion not that long ago. We're always talking about bringing in new weapons or powers, but I think this goes back to there's already a lot.
Sure.
There's already a lot, and so there's a balance between if it was up to us, we'd do everything, right? Mm-hmm. If it was easy, we'd just have everything in the game.
You just heard him. He said if it was up to them, they'd do it. They'd do even more things than what we ask for. But they can't because it's not up to them. It's up to the CEO of Daybreak Games and EG7, G-Ham, Baby Dick G-Ham, which I'm going to get into here in a minute. But let's continue.
To be great, right? Everything available. Part of it is it's not so much technical. Sometimes it's balance. Like, is this a good idea to have another? Does it make sense? Does it fit the DC universe? Right? Is this a power set that's even found within DC? But if there are power sets, which ones do we like and which ones are something that we want to invest the time in? Because everything we want to build requires us to do something that is a finite resource. I only have so many Chads. We only have so many people on the team. We only have so much time per release per year, and so it's really just a prioritization. But
so you see, they have a skeleton crew. He said it himself. He only has one Red 5 on the grind all the time, 69 prime time. If he had 5 Red 5s, 5 Chads, 10 Chads, he can make the power, but he can't. And as a matter of fact, this same producer already told us, I can't get you the clip because the YouTuber will report my video because she's a crybaby. But in this clip, this same producer said that if they were able to make a power with funding and with more developers in on the project, it would be the power of plastic. They would put plastic into the game. Yeah, I know, plastic, how boring. Or maybe it would be fun, who knows. But regardless, it's not going to be a lantern power, and we're actually not going to get any powers, definitely not this year. But some of y'all are optimistic. There's a reason why there's optimistic players on the forums about a new power, and this because of this clip right here.
But if the question is, are we going to see new? I think the answer is probably, but it's just a matter of what, if, and when.
And finally, I'm gonna close this video by showing you to the one and only CEO of Daybreak Games and EG7, G-Ham. This is the guy who's ruining the game. He's the reason why the player count has dropped over the last 10 years, probably longer, who knows. This guy is the reason why the game is highly pay to win. This is why the game is very highly monetized. This is why we have all these budget cuts. This guy is responsible for canceling Marvel Universe Online. He's also responsible for canceling DC Universe Online Remastered. Yeah, they were going to remaster our beloved DC Universe Online, but G-Ham canceled it. Why? Because DC Universe Online is a third-party game. What that means is they need to pay Warner Brothers for the rights to have the logo DC Universe and all the characters and emblems. They need to pay Sony for the game being on the PlayStation Network. They need to pay Xbox for the game being on their network. They need to pay Nintendo for it being on the Switch. They need to pay all these companies before they get any sort of profit. And then whatever profit comes in, which it is in the millions, of course, because there's a lot of whales on DC, let's face it. But whatever profit they get, they're going to take that money and only put a small portion of it back into the game to pay the developers that are keeping the game alive with updates. They're not putting nothing back into the game that's game breaking or game changing. They're not remastering the game. They're not doing none of that. And of course, don't take it from me, I have receipts. So without further ado, this is G-Ham, the guy that's making DC Universe Online trash. This is why you have clamps. This is why you're not going to have a new power.
But the first one here is Daybreak, acquisition from Sony. We acquired it beginning of 2015. The underwriting for it was super simple. We're business guys, finance guys. I like to play games, but at the same time, my focus and expertise is really on the business front and operational front. So looking at the business, Sony wanted to divest this asset because it's not core to them. They make PC online games. Sony makes their money from PlayStation, which is console. So ultimately, they decided to sell it, but broken business. They lost over $400 million over 7 years. Significant accumulated losses. When we bought the business, they were losing about $30 million a year. We went in 30 days. Lots of big changes because we like to operate quite decisively when there's changes that need to be made. Got it to profitability within the month. And then existing live games will be maintained with investments necessary. We're not pulling money out, okay? We're going to invest as necessary to continue to prolong. Like EverQuest will be here like a decade later. And I would not be surprised if it's still where it is today. And we want to make sure that that continues to be. But when I say no major investment, what I talked about earlier, like we're not going to remaster like DC Universe Online. We stepped away from that idea. I talked about earlier, like we're not going to remaster like DC Universe Online. These are all the cash flow generation from the existing businesses, okay? So these all make money. And when we make money, we want to fund it into the blue arrow, sort of boxes, right? The growth vectors. So Daybreak going into third-party publishing and first-party game. So actions taken, shut down a bunch of stuff. Minimal Effect, Lock and Load 2, IGI, and 83, and Marvel, a big one there. Difficult one, but nonetheless the right choice. And Marvel, a big one there. Difficult one, but nonetheless the right choice.
So there you have it. In conclusion, DC Universe Online has a lot of potential, but Baby Day G-Ham is ruining the game. He canceled all these projects and he's taken all the money that they make from DC Universe Online to fund other projects, other games like EverQuest 3 and MechWarrior 5 Clans. I don't know what to tell y'all. This is old news. I just gotta keep on bringing it up, you know what I'm saying? Beat this dead horse until it can't move anymore, because I don't know, this community is delusional, or maybe it's, I don't know. I hope you guys like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out.
I got you stuck off the realness. I got you stuck off the realness. I got you stuck off the realness.